So tell me about losing weight. What are your what would you say, principles? It's not just weight loss, it's wellness, isn't it?
That's right. It's completely wellness. It's really a whole body approach. And John, we've talked before, it's a mind, it's a body, it's a spiritual approach. And unless we address all three of those measures, people are truly not going to feel well inside.
Let me ask you something, because you know Dr. Novak.
Yes. Yeah.
He's been speaking at my church some lately. And last night he said that pretty much all disease is linked to attitude. What do you think?
Well, attitude is our mindset.
Yeah.
And our thoughts are who we're with the most every day. And so the more positive thoughts or the negative thoughts that we put out, this is what our body is going to start to feel inside. We know now through science and through monitoring people's brain chemistry, and I like to do this. I'm a bit of a biohacker too, John, so that means I like to track my own anatomy and my brain and everything.
Yeah.
So I know if I put on, I have this device that I can wear that allows me to go into this state of relaxation. Yeah. If I think certain thoughts, it'll register certain brain waves on this device that I have. And what this is kind of a symbol of is that this is allowing my heart rate to get relaxed. And when our heart rate is relaxed, we're in a state of healing, we're in a state of repair. So if it's about attitude, then it's about the thoughts that are in our head. If our thoughts are negative all the time, we're going to be in a very heightened state. So I like to think of it as sympathetic and parasympathetic. So sympathetic, everyone thinks of as stress, so fight or flight. Right. And you might have heard that expression before.
Yes.
Parasympathetic is rest and digest. And I'd like to add to heal.
Right.
So it looks like a nice healthy breakfast.
Thank you.
So from our attitude standpoint, if we have a positive attitude, we're going to be more in a state of rest and digest. If we have a negative attitude, we're going to be stressed. We're going to be in a fight or flight stance all the time. And our body is not conducive to healing. And from a biochemical standpoint, I could measure your blood test. So if I get you in a heated debate, John, okay. Yes. But if I did that, within half an hour, I could see a rise in inflammatory markers in your blood system.
Really?
Exactly.
The things that make us sick.
The things that make us
bring pain and
exactly
all kinds of stuff.
So that's why attitude goes so far to healing. We hear many times of cancer, right?
Yes.
Cancer goes into remission. And many doctors, they'll call it remission. I call it healing, Yeah. And I really do truly believe that it can be influenced by our mindset.
I do too. I don't have any medical training, a little bit. I drove the ambulance, but I've always said the thing that started it, what started the cancer, what went wrong, what caused the mutations or something, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And that probably starts with a mindset or a spiritual component.
And often too, I think it can start with a trauma, from a cancer standpoint and disease itself.
Right.
We have so much early childhood trauma and it boggles my mind sometimes that I used to think in medical training you hear about these things that happened 40 and 50 years ago, but day after day I still see early childhood trauma. And that can come from the form of, a baby being neglected. Unfortunately, in this day and age, babies being born, to mothers that have substance abuse issues, and everything that happens in the womb to that baby, it's going to affect that baby later in life. Yeah. And of course, the sexual abuse, trauma, violence, those things are going to affect us later in life. And we know that now if we actually document it from even a weight loss perspective. So one of the reasons that we have a term, it's called adverse childhood experiences. And one of the doctors that coined this was a doctor that was doing obesity medicine.
Yeah.
So he was American, and he had weight loss groups. People would come in to see him, and he's like, why? They're not getting better. Or if they did get better for a while, they didn't maintain their weight loss. So he'd had a lot of records. He went back through his databases, and he started looking at and finding that the men and women that really had issues with weight, there was a huge association, 70 to 80%, that they had some type of adverse childhood experience. So, when we talk about So attitude is a positive thing that we can have to keep ourselves healthy.
Yeah.
And from a parental standpoint, from a community standpoint, from a friend and spiritual community standpoint, I would say love is what we need to be giving to others to try to help to promote that, to minimize the impact of these adverse childhood experiences on people.